to f.ight school s.hootings, we call for a school boycott after Labor Day Arne Duncan. What would happen if millions of parents across America kept their kids out of school for a few days this fall to put pressure on Congress to pass gun safety laws? With the midterm elections coming and control of Congress hanging in the balance, would our politicians finally do something about the mass shootings in schools and other public places? Maybe we should find out. We're both parents. One of us was the top education official in the country and is now working to combat gun violence in Chicago. The other lost her 18-year-old son to a drive-by shooting, and is the founder of an organization called Purpose Over Pain, which provides support for parents like her, parents whose children have been shot and killed. Across America, the number of grieving parents is growing month by month, even hour by hour. In Chicago alone this year, 935 people, and counting, have been shot. That's more than 6 shootings a day. Gun purchase waiting periods are a powerful way to prevent suicides and save lives. Ban assault weapons, buy them back, go after resistors. Ex-prosecutor in Congress. Neither of us opposes gun rights for hunters and target shooters. We don't object to people who keep a legally obtained gun in the home for personal protection, as long as it is stored safely. But when it comes to weapons of war, like the AR-15 style rifle that was used by Nicholas Cruz in Parkland, Florida, to gun down 17 people, America needs to draw the line. When it comes to high-capacity magazines that allow a gunman to wipe out an entire classroom of kids without reloading, America needs to draw the line. When children are victims of daily shootings across the country, we draw the line. When it comes to school shootings, America is simply and tragically in a class by itself. The Washington Post tracked every deliberate act of gunfire at a primary or secondary school during school hours in the United States and found 115 school shootings since 2009. The closest country to us is Mexico with 8. India has 4 times the population of the US and had just 5 school shootings during this period. This crisis has gone on so long that it sometimes feels like nothing can be done about it. But common-sense gun laws can make a real difference. According to one study, when the U.S. banned assault weapons for a decade starting in 1994, the death toll in gun massacres dropped, defined in the study as 6 or more people being shot and killed. When Australia banned most guns after a mass shooting in the mid-1990s, introduced a 28-day waiting period for gun purchases, and started a national gun registry, gun violence virtually disappeared overnight. Some states are working to improve public safety. When Connecticut passed legislation requiring gun licensing and background checks, homicides declined by 40%. When states beefed up gun store licensing regulations, trafficking declined. Criminal background checks blocked 2.8 million gun purchases in America between 1994 and 2014. The vast majority of Americans want reforms like these. Even most gun owners support background checks, a step that does not infringe on Second Amendment rights. Yet the problem continues. The death toll increases. And in Washington, the politicians continue to give lip service, at best, to the idea of taking action. Across America, children and their families are living in fear. But what some officials are most afraid of is losing the support of the gun lobby, which backs their campaigns and blocks needed reforms. If Congress only cares about the next election, then let's make this an election issue. That's why we're calling for a boycott. Here's how it could work. We're calling for parents to keep their children home from school after the Labor Day holiday weekend to send the strongest possible message to lawmakers that enough is enough. We invite parents across America from cities, suburbs and rural areas to participate. And that includes parents who are responsible gun owners. We know you love your children as much as we love ours. We know that having a child out of school, even for a few days, will be difficult for most Americans. But given the stakes of this struggle against gun violence, we think Americans will come together, as we always do in times of crisis, and find ways to make this work. Community groups, Churches and local businesses could coordinate with retirees and non-working adults to set up activities for our kids during the days of the boycott. We also know that this is a surprising, even counterintuitive, idea. But the old, familiar responses aren't getting results. We've got to work together to shake things up. It's often said that culture drives politics and politics drives policy. The good news is that a change in America's gun culture is beginning to happen. The number of adults living in a house with a gun in the USA dropped from 50.4% in 1977 to 31% in 2014. Now we need to translate that into political change, and then policy change. Because the alternative is unacceptable. Do you really want to live in a country where the threat of gun violence infects everyday life? Do you really want to walk through metal detectors to buy groceries or go to church? Do you want your child searched for guns every day in school? Our children have shown courage and leadership on this issue. Parents need to step up to send a message to Congress. We all want our children to grow up safe and secure. Let's give them that chance. Pam Bosley is the co-founder of Purpose Over Pain. Arne Duncan, Secretary of Education in the Obama administration, is managing partner with Emerson Collective, where he directs Chicago CURD. Follow them on Twitter, @BosleyPamela and @ArneDuncan.